the implication that you are a victim of a disease, if you haven't necessarily thought of that. Let's use cancer as an example. According to modern medicine, cancer is some kind of genetic modification of cells that create now a colony of deformed cells that have only one purpose, which is to annihilate you. So what are they saying? They're saying a lot of things. First, your body, for a reason that we're not totally clear on, besides certain kind of like external variables, turns on you. That's fucking a deep statement. Your body decided to turn on you. This is your body. This is your house. It's like your house decides to squish you and kill you. So that's the implication of what they're saying. They're saying your body wants to kill you. First implication. That's fucked up. We can take it, unpack it, and we will. The second implication is that there's no order or intelligence. First, something wants to kill you, which is your own house. And second, that we live in a place where there's no order and intelligence. What kind of life is that? So, if you adopt, the modern medicine definition of cancer, it means you're a victim. It means your body does stupid things. Yeah, sure, there's like, maybe I didn't exercise a lot, or I smoked, fine. This is the superficial bullshit, right? But it says you're a victim of something unintelligent happening to you, coming from nature, which is there to get you. This is the implication of their definition of disease. I can't live in such a world. Because if I live in a place if nature is against me, and I am a byproduct, I am the child of nature, so are you, so is everybody. So you're mean to tell me that mother is a monster. But this is exactly what they're saying. They're saying that mother, which they don't call mother because they don't acknowledge nature's existence. They look at things strictly from a mechanic point of view. They've removed life from life itself. But this is what they're saying. Mother wants to kill you for no reason. So you're a victim, she's the aggressor, and we must stop her. Then they want to talk about women empowerment. Go fuck yourself. That's what they're saying. So I'm not saying that there's not something happening in your system. I'm not denying that. I'm saying your interpretation is based on your insanity, your disconnection from reality, and your paradigm, which is based on fear, hate of women, misunderstanding of what you don't understand, it's evil. And why don't you understand how nature works? Because you've decided to shield yourself from it. Because to understand nature means to understand life. And life is very grand, and you don't want to do the effort to figure that out. So I can't live in such a paradigm. Zero, I don't accept that. So when you dive into the study of the human body, which is essentially studying Earth itself, the goddess, the body, Earth, well, depending on your state of mind and depending on how you're approaching and who's guiding you through the process, well, let us say that you understand what I'm saying and you're guided properly. Well, who comes and starts to teach you? The goddess, the intelligence of nature itself, which lives in your body. Understand this. This is not esoteric. This is not complicated. Nature created you. The fact that people don't understand this is like it's a testament to the madness of our modern world. Now, you don't understand that nature created you. This is like deep. Or esoteric or complicated or like woo woo. This is, dude. Where does nature come from? Clearly, it's a code, and you are the byproduct of her. So, do you mean to tell me it's not intelligent? Get the fuck out of here. So that intelligence, which is her creative potential, lives inside of you. The blueprint is there. So if you start to study the human body, guess what? Who's going to teach you? Nature. She teaches you her ways. Just like if you sit down and stare at a fucking bird for 10 hours. You see, these indigenous cultures, they said the bird taught me something. Birds taught me a bunch of things too. The tree taught me something. The river teaches me something. Right, because you just look at it and it just reveals things to you. Well, this is subtle stuff. But it's perceivable. Just like you can perceive beauty, which is subtle. You can perceive scent, which is subtle. Which you can perceive vibrations, which is subtle. You can perceive knowledge, which is also subtle. So when you start to study yourself, starting with the human body, well, these truths are revealed to you if you have the right mindset. And you're like, this doesn't make any sense. My mind is creating my reality. Now, everybody says that they understand this, but do they really? They believe in it like a religion, but do you understand the mechanic? Do you have an experience of the mechanic? Can you put your hands in the mechanic itself? Not try to brainwash yourself by trying to like put something on top, hacking. I'm like, no, can you actually understand and experience the mechanic? So then you see it's like, no, there's something, I'm holding on to something in my mind. There's a mental state. There's a state of mind that is established. Why it's there? Another conversation, a lovely conversation. We'll have the conversation. There's a state of mind that is established in my psyche. The consequences of that state of mind creates an unbalance that expresses itself all the way through to the big toe. Right? Which leads to all kinds of actions and consequences. And over time, this creates wear and tear. And wear and tear, the body that is now subject to wear and tear, responds. But this doesn't make any sense to you because you don't know nothing about your mind. You don't have a sense of your mind besides that, I want to fuck her. That's it. That's all you know. Most of you. Or whatever you know, which is a good start, it's just the tip. The iceberg. It goes, like I said, more than 95%, in my humble opinion, it's 99% plus, is unconscious. Well, that's it. That governs your body. That's nature. So, I'm a victim or I'm ignorant. I ain't a victim. I don't buy into that. It doesn't mean that when you go through a process, sometimes you're not frustrated. Of course I'm fucking frustrated. Now I got to deal with this shit and fuck this and why this is happening to me. I'm like, yeah, but what you going to do now? Clearly something wants to teach you something. Now some idiots are going to say humans try to find meaning into things. I'm like, this is obvious. There's a meaning there. Dive into it. You don't have a choice. Well, you do have a choice. My bad. So anyways, all this to say, I don't buy into it. And it's not my experience. And I've discovered something else. And I'm very grateful for it. And I will never let that go because that liberates me. And through that process, through the discovery of her magnificence and intelligence, I realized, well, it's not chaos, there's order. And the order is obvious. Every day you can tell, the fucking telephone can tell you exactly what time the sun is going to come up. So how could that be chaotic? So how do you go from such an orderly, like nature is so perfectly in order, and then when it comes to the human body, it's anything can happen at any time. And we don't know why. But what we do got to do is control to make sure that shit don't happen. Oh, how come? We don't know. Imbeciles. This is my humble opinion. Okay, I can't subscribe to such nonsense, which clearly shows a cowardry and an insult and a contempt to something greater than yourself. And I cannot participate in such a religion. I know, I'm like, you go insult intelligence and the goddess over there. Leave me alone. I don't want to be part of that. I don't subscribe to that. But here's the catch. If my mind, with its 99% that's unconscious, manifests or creates my reality, that means I'm fucking responsible. Bingo. It's on you. It's your disease. It's your suffering. These are the consequences of your actions. And what people have a hard time to understand is that your thoughts are generating an action. It may not have manifested through emotion, but if you think I'm going to punch the person, your body has created you're ready to punch. It's just not expressed yet. But if you could see, the pathway is already done. All you got to do is go, and it's already doing it. So the mind, your thoughts, is a form of action. And when you discover the human body, you start to discover that the kind of actions that thoughts do. It's very real, it's very tangible, and it affects the body. And the body is so sensitive and so refined. Any little fluctuation of your mind creates a ripple that expresses itself in the body in the form of tension. And this is perceivable. This is not your imagination. It's as perceivable as taking a shit, except shit is very gross, and we're talking about subtle. Subtle doesn't mean it doesn't exist and it's in your imagination. Subtle means it's like the beauty of a woman. Well, it's obviously that she's beautiful. It's subtle. Well, sometimes it's not subtle. Sometimes it is. Yes, no?
Yes.
Wonderful. So I do not subscribe to that victim mentality because it puts me in a powerless position. And I don't like that. And from that place, it means you're scared. Well, if I'm scared, that's the disease. I'm scared. Now, when you go see the doctor, how does the medical doctor remove your fear? They don't. They give you the illusion, listen carefully, they give you the illusion that they are almighty and that they will resolve your problem by a click of a button or by a cut of their little knife or by one of their pills, and all your problems will disappear. Great. So I don't have to deal with my fear, my fundamental fear of disease, suffering, and death. Death. The doctor, oh holy doctor, will remove that. So now you're like a fucking infant. And the doctor is God. Now how does this idiot, who doesn't know fuck all about how the body works, doesn't even understand that there's a body and it's a technology that is connected to life itself, starting with nature and the cosmos, how does this person who's obsessed with a molecule that's invisible, that you cannot see and just wants to chop you up and take a part of you and throw it in some kind of bin, how does this crazy person get to be God? I don't subscribe to the victim mentality, and what nature has revealed to me is that my mind is building my future. And if I want another kind of future, or I want something more harmonious, something within my mind, which is in perfect correlation with my physiology, anatomy, and hormonal system, has to be adjusted or evolved to give me or provide a different experience. Now that puts the ball somehow in my camp. And once again, we know this, your average person doesn't want to be responsible. They want power without the responsibility, which is an illusion. And what does the modern society offer you? It's like, listen, do whatever the fuck you want, there's no consequences. It doesn't matter that you transgress all natural laws, because nature has laws. They're obvious. But you kind of don't know really what I mean, do you? When I talk about the laws of nature, like, well, what does that really mean? I'm like, yeah, you don't even know. You need a fucking book to tell you how to behave. Think about it. For thousands of years, they come with books, man, motherfucking books. I got nothing against the book. God bless the fucking book, okay? Really. But I'm like, you need a book to tell you what's right or what's wrong. Yeah, but your fucking dog knows. What does that say about you? You're dumber than a dog. That's what it says. Your dog knows, don't eat this. Unless some human being tries to trick the dog, because human beings are assholes, the dog will never eat something that's not good for it. Never. Only a human being will try to fuck over the dog, because the human beings need to fuck everybody over. Right? With their madness. But the dog would never eat something bad, yet it knows how to eat. So how come you don't know? The dog knows how to behave. It knows how to live. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So isn't it odd that human beings don't have access to that knowledge and they need a book external to themselves to tell them what's right or what's wrong? So that's what I mean by the laws of nature. Well, how come we don't know such a thing? We need a book to tell us the laws. Imagine you're a Jew. You know how many laws they have? Man, imagine you got to live according to those laws. That's a lot of. Shout out to the Jews. That's a lot of work, man. You got to you're gonna be tense. You got a lot of everything has a law. This is not a disrespect to nobody. I'm just saying, well, I can't live like this. I'm too undisciplined. How about that? I need to be dumb like a dog. Just make it like that. I'm dumb like a dog, and I know exactly how it works. That's the kind of intelligence I like. Inherent. And you think nature hasn't endowed you with this and hasn't given that knowledge inside you, hasn't put that in the body? Of course it has. But you don't have access to it. Now that's the height of disease. Remember, disease means dis-ease, and disease comes from ignorance. So you ignorant. Now you're gonna sit down and talk with big words because you know molecules and you can bring. I fucking also know molecules. Shit. We can have a molecule chit chat. I hope this is. I'm making my point clear, and through the process, I gotta kind of give little pokes here and there to kind of clear a little bit of space so that you can feel me in what I'm saying.